I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we are taking a closer look at Super Sons issue number 4. After defeating Kid Amazo, both Superboy and Robin have been grounded. What'll happen next? Let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? So, picking up from where the last issue left off, Damian Wayne is in the Batcave fighting his most deadly enemy yet, and that would be boredom. How anyone could be bored in the Batcave is beyond me. I mean, come on, you've got dinosaurs, you've got giant pennies, you've got all the old Batsuits Batman doesn't wear anymore, but hey, Damian's a pretty jaded kid. He's been barred from going out on patrol with Batman, and he can't hang out with his friends from the Teen Titans either, so Damian is a little upset right about now. In fact, he thinks that he's got it so rough, and he's sure that over in Hamilton County, Superboy hasn't even been punished at all for the role he played in sneaking out and dealing with the Kid Amazo problem. And in an act of the grass never being greener on the other side, we find out that Jonathan is being equally punished. In fact, he has to do a bunch of farm chores and not use his powers. Much like Damian, he gets a case of the woe is me's, the life isn't fair, but for him it's a little bit more complicated because he's also railing against his parents right now in their big move to Metropolis away from his home in Hamilton County. Gotta love Tomasi's attention to detail and use of continuity, as the big move has been a major factor across the other two Superman books, so of course it would be in play here. Jon and his parents end up getting into a big fight, and Superboy decides to shirk his chores and run away to the city to basically his only other friend he knows, which is Damian, and he doesn't even get along with him that well. In a bit of true cosmic irony, Damian is also trying to break his grounding at the same time and leave the cave, so the two end up smacking right into each other. Once again, the boys play a game of who has it worse, and neither can actually win. Eventually, they just devolve into a big fight, saying, you know what, I don't know how my dad gets along with your dad. Well, I don't know how my dad doesn't beat up your dad. You're not my friend, you only get me in trouble. I never asked you to be my friend. And so on and so forth until they're eventually trashing the Batcave by throwing each other around in it. Man, you gotta love that they're getting all the animosity that their fathers got, but, you know, condensed down into a much smaller package. Alfred opts to play peacemaker in the only way he can by offering them some food. Hey, quick little continuity note here. Seeing these kids fight and all their parental issues, Alfred says he's happy he never had children. But Alfred did have children, though. What about Julia? I mean, that character has been around since the 80s, was active in the Scott Snyder run, and as far as I know, is still active, so that's a bit of an oversight for Tomasi, who's usually so good with continuity. Before the two boys can pick up their fight again, Batman and Superman end up making the scene. Of course, they always knew where their children were. They're not crappy parents after all. The Super Dads go out of their way to regale the Super Sons with the stories of all the times they didn't get along, all the times they fought, but how eventually at the end of the day they realized they were stronger and better together as a team. Especially as they get older and realize they actually have way more in common than they first thought, like raising two rebellious sons. Why the two even drop a little in-joke how despite how close they are, people still debate to this day over who would win in a fight, which starts a debate between the two. Once again, the overarching story point of this comic seems to be how Jonathan is afraid of change, doesn't want to move, but Damian tells him to embrace that change. The dads decide that maybe Jonathan will do a lot better if Damian continues to be by his side to help him work through it as a friend. Aw, sweet ending. So that was Super Sons issue number 5, and overall I thought it was a really pleasant, really feel-good sort of issue. I like that Tomasi is choosing to show that Superboy and Robin becoming friends isn't easy. It's something they gotta work at and will continue working at, much in the same way their fathers did. I also really dig how if you read this book along with all the other Superman books, it's actually really rewarding because they further a lot of storylines and you get some more character development out of it. Overall, if you've been digging this book, I think you'll dig this issue as well, which is why I give it an 8 out of 10. So there's another video in the bag. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, you can find links to my social media and everything else down in the description as well as on screen. Here's some other videos you may have missed from throughout the week, and if you're feeling in a supportive mood, you can become a Cape Joel patron for as little as $1 a month and get exclusive access to videos and podcasts before anybody else. So until next time, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again in another video. Bye-bye.